Hi, I'm Kim and you're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Before I get going with this video, I just want to take a moment to thank our friend Francis very much for your donation to our channel's PayPal account. Your donations really keep the channel going, guys. Thank you. I've always said that narcissistic abuse is going to increase when you have a life crisis, when your mom's diagnosed with cancer, when your dog dies, when you get laid off at work. When something happens that destabilizes your life, in addition to the fact that you're already living on eggshells and being abused, but when something extraordinary outside of the narcissistic abuse happens, the narcissists go into hyper overdrive to try and hurt you. And at this point, of course, they see you as being more vulnerable, and this is a real opportunity for them to lay some dirty work on you. Now, I've received a lot of emails lately expressing this very thing. Something horrible has happened to one of our friends here at the channel, and the narc just went into overdrive to hurt them. I, too, have had a very real experience with this very thing very recently, and I want to discuss that with you today. I've been almost completely off-grid for 2 weeks. You guys may remember the last video I did. I said I really felt like I was experiencing adrenal fatigue because my son Jacob had been in the hospital. Now we get my son Jacob out of hospital. We get him with an older brother. Jacob's doing much better. And in comes the information I didn't want. I have one sibling, a younger sister. Her name is Christy. And my sister Christy, very sadly, has led a very alternative type lifestyle. She has suffered from drug and alcohol addiction for over 35 years, 37 years, I think we calculated. 2 weeks ago, right after we got Jacob settled and I was feeling really good, and I was on my way out the door to a cooking class, and I checked my email before I go, and there's an email from a friend. For those of you who've been with the channel for a while, you may remember I was living in a small prairie community called Rockland, Saskatchewan. Now, Rockland is a very small town, and in fact, so small we don't even have a police detachment. But the police from a neighboring community had made the 40-minute trek down to Rockland and were literally walking in the streets looking for me. They came across a friend of mine. My friend had told them I'd moved to Mexico and offered them my contact information. They suggested my friend contact me and ask me to call them, which is what I did. And I'll tell you, I knew it was serious because, well, I never have police looking for me, first of all. And the fact they had driven all the way down there looking for me did indicate that something serious had happened. And truly something very serious had happened. Now, over the 35 years that my sister was drug addicted, I've received many calls from police. She had been incarcerated. They had taken her in under the Mental Health Act and, put her in a mental hospital, or had forced her into a drug treatment program, or her car had been towed away, or she was found wandering in the streets high out of her mind, or whatever it was. I'd received many calls, and I was aware that one day I may get the call that nobody wants to get, and yes, that's what that call was. My little sister Christy had lost her battle with drug addiction, and she had lost it in a way very reflective of the horrible life that she had been leading for all those years. I'm actually still really trying to come to terms with this. I guess that day on the phone with the police officer, I guess when I dialed the number, I knew it was a possibility, but I'd received so many calls, over the years. I thought, oh God, what has she done now? That's what I'm thinking while I'm calling. What in the hell has she done now? And, she had, my sister had died. Thinking I was prepared for that call, wow, was I caught off guard. I literally started screaming. I was literally screaming like I was on fire. The room was spinning. I dropped to the floor. I hung up on the police. I didn't want to hear any more of it. Took me a couple seconds to get back up off the floor. By now, of course, the kids have run in the room. They're picking me up. And thank God the police officer phoned back. I guess she had recognized my moment of terror. God, I love my little sister. Yeah, I really love my little sister Chrissy, and it had been such a heartbreaking 35 years for all of us watching her truly destroy herself. I mean, she truly destroyed herself right to the bitter end. And yeah, so they called back. They had explained the details to me. Of course, then I had to notify friends and family, and of course, I had to call my mother. Now, what the police had said to me, once I kind of calmed down and I was making some sense of it a bit, like, she's dead, now I need to do something. I was in shock, but I knew I had to do something. What the police had said to me was, your sister is gone, which then caused me to say, gone where? What do you mean my sister's gone? And then they said, well, Kim, your sister's passed away. Now, before I called my mother, I really thought about that, and I got to tell you, I thought that was a really great way for them to handle it, because there was that split second, like that moment, where now I'm saying, what do you mean she's gone? Where is she gone? And my head's going, I'm thinking, oh God, she's dead, right? So there was that momentary lapse rather than them just blurting out, hey, Kim, your sister's dead, which I thought it was better. So I call my mom and I say, Mom, I've got to tell you something. And Chrissy's gone. Well, of course, she did the same thing. Her voice gets loud. She's getting agitated. What do you mean she's gone? Where's she gone? Where's Christy? And then I explained to her what had happened. I actually used that technique with everyone in the family, and I kind of liked that. I thought the police were very considerate by doing that, because it really did give me that split second just to try and get my head around what was coming. And I appreciate that. So anyways, of course, I post the fact that my sister's passed away on Facebook, and cousins and friends and family are just, they're calling, they're emailing, they're messaging me, and I'm in communication with people, and I instantly recognize I have this incredible support network. I mean, the love and the condolences that were pouring out, friends I had gone to kindergarten with, all my cousins, and kids I'd grown up with, kids who knew my sister, and everybody knew that my sister had problems. I mean, anyone that we've known over the last 35 years, my sister's condition was not something she could easily hide. It was pretty severe. And people were so kind and so supportive and so loving, and really extending their self in friendship. And friends here from YouTube, so many friends from the channel who were on my Facebook page had made an incredible effort to reach out to me. And of course, my dear friend David Demars, had set time aside to, talk with me about this and be the great support he's always been. And, David, I love you, honey. So to be honest, I was shaken. I was rocked. I was really struggling to understand how it could have gone that far. I'd watched my sister's drug addiction go to some pretty low lows, but I guess in my heart of hearts, in my hopeful thinking, I had believed that one day she would beat it. One day. There were times when her and I would talk, and she'd say, Kim, I promise one day I'm going to beat this, and I'm going to do some gardening with you. And I'd really looked forward to that. I thought that would happen for us. And, of course, I get up every morning at 5 o'clock. I've got a big garden up on my rooftop patio. And since her passing, I sit up there at 5 in the morning, and I can just see the stars in the sky, and the sun hasn't come up yet. And I talk to her, and I truly hope she's in a better place, though I'm not really a fan of, believing that when people are dead, they're in a better place. That's horrible to me. But I hope that she can see my garden. And the other morning, all my sunflowers had broken open in the night, and I was pretty excited. And I said, oh, Chrissy, look, our flowers are growing. Sorry, I'm really trying to compose myself. I feel absolutely overcome with grief. I feel like a piece of me has been ripped away.
And God, I love my little sister. I just loved her so much. And I really had hoped that things would end differently for her. Now, with that said, clearly by any public posts that were out there, anyone could see that I was deeply hurting as a result of losing my little sister, especially in such an unthinkably horrible way. You really never want to think that a drug addict is going to die, from a drug overdose. It just, so sad. Such a horrible loss of life. And yeah, I'm sorry, my mind's wandering everywhere. So this public display of kindness and love and consideration for me and my mom and my sister's son. She had a son that I raised, and I raised him as if he was my own child. And of course, I had been in regular communication with him, and he was really hurting as I had been. And who pops up? Well, I'll give you guys a couple of guesses. Now, I'm sure many of you remember serial stalker, cyber freak Michelle Titler. And I don't mind using her name publicly because surely she launched this recent smear campaign against me only days after my sister's death. And I mean in a very public way. Absolutely outrageous. Now, it's this that I really want to talk about. I guess that she, in her true narc form, saw this as a vulnerability in me. Saw that I was hurt, that I was feeling very wounded, and was really in need of kindness and support. And she just launched this public smear campaign. It was absolutely mind-blowing. Sometimes narcissists actually still have the ability to absolutely shock, and leave me feeling dismayed. Now, her mother died a few years ago, and though I'm not a fan of Michelle's, certainly you want to, act with some integrity, some class, a sense of morality, a sense of compassion. And I knew that I would be very hurt if my mother had died, and I most certainly got in touch with her and told her I was very sorry to hear about her mother. I mean, she was a kid from my neighborhood growing up, and I certainly did know her mother. And I really felt very compelled to extend myself in kindness, to offer some support, to be a shoulder to cry on if she needed it. Not with these creatures. Honestly, they can't even fake human behavior. They can't even fake having a little bit of class. I believe years ago, before all this exposure, narcissists would try to continue positioning the mask. But with this huge, vast global awakening, this incredible awareness about what they are, I don't think they care anymore. I don't think the mask is important. Too many people are onto them, and I don't think they even feel the need to hide how truly disgusting and odious they really are. I mean, she probably was thinking, wow, Kim's down. I'm going to see if I can kick her. I've got to tell you, it backfired so epically on this freak. It backfired so badly on her. My whole message thing just lit up. Messages were pouring in. Oh my God, Kim, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, her family, her kids, people that know her were just pouring condolences on me, telling me how embarrassed they are by her behavior, how sickening and disgusting and mentally ill she is. These types of public smear campaigns, they don't work anymore for these creeps. They really don't. People were absolutely sickened and disgusted by this pig. It was unbelievable. I get notice. Someone sent me a notice that she had launched a smear campaign, and within seconds of receiving it, I hadn't even read it all, and it just lit up. One message after the other. People, oh my God, Kim, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. What's wrong with her? She's so sick. So if you are in a situation today where you are down,
and you are feeling very vulnerable, and you really do need some support and a bit of comforting, a little TLC, and a narc does launch a public smear campaign against you, I'm telling you, they just don't hold water anymore. I mean, she has lost all credibility. She is a cyber clown. No one takes her seriously. She is absolutely disgusting to most people that look on. And another thing is, I think everybody, even narcs, try to do their best. Like, I don't think a narc gets out of bed in the morning and thinks, man, I'm going to do the most disgusting, diabolical thing I can possibly come up with. I think that is her best. Like, I think that's the best she's got. No class, no integrity, an absolute demonically possessed gutter rat, absolute gutter rat. That is the best she's got. And I'll tell you, that was unbelievably transparent to anyone that saw that. Yeah, I was overwhelmed by the amount of support. And of course, as I was kind of reading my way through this horrible post she had made, a big post, absolutely disgusting, I'm starting to really sink, emotionally, mentally. I was really starting to sink, and then up pops just one after the other. So it kind of boosted me back up again. And this is the first video I've made since finding out about my sister's death. I have missed you guys terribly, and I've really tried many times to make a video. But I just was really feeling like I had such sadness. I didn't want to spread that on you guys, but I woke up this morning and I thought, you know what? I need you guys now. I really do. I feel very, very alone. I feel very isolated. I haven't left my house. Today is one of the first days I actually got dressed and got out of my pajamas. I have just been feeling so horrible. So I was so worried about spreading any sort of contagion on you guys, because I had been feeling really down and depressed and sad and missing my little sister so much. But, I also recognize that you guys are that rope that I hang on to. You guys are that connection to sanity and compassion and enlightened critical thinking. So I am sorry for the tears earlier in the video. I've been really stuck. I think this is the 20th video I've tried to make in 2 weeks. I've just been absolutely stuck emotionally. So this is my breakaway video. I was hoping I wouldn't cry, but this is it. So I have really missed you guys so much, and I've desperately needed the support of this community. So if I did spread a little negativity on you there, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. That is truly the best I've got today. Now, I want to wrap this up by saying I should have expected this, but I was actually caught off guard by this attack from Michelle Titler, and she did this in her own name at social media, wanting people to see it, wanting people to see her name. Well, see it they did, and disgusted they were. Now, if something horrible has happened to you recently, and I have received a lot of emails in the last week telling me you have, and the narc has amped up their abuse against you, do not panic, because you know what? The world is seeing through this. They're truly seeing this. People are waking up. People see this disgusting behavior, and they are disgusted by it, morally outraged at the filth. I mean, people were writing to me going like, how low really could someone go? She could have posted anything that day. She could have even posted that she didn't like me, but she didn't have to launch a nasty, horrible smear campaign like that. But again, that was her free will. That was her choice. And I do believe in many ways God is truly helping us by allowing them to expose themselves like this. Like, if I had to be her punching bag that day for people to truly see her for the piece of turd she is, you know what? I can suck that up, because all credibility is lost for her. She is nothing but a cyber clown. And expect it. I should have expected it, but I really didn't think that even she could get that low. So I was caught off guard. I truly was caught off guard. I really didn't think anyone could get that low. I mean, that is just beyond disgusting. Anyways, enough said. This is my breakout of my horrible funk video. I have missed you guys terribly, and if you are being smeared today, Trust me, I've just been smeared in a very public way. I've absolutely been kicked when I was down, and everybody saw through it. Literally thousands of comments, of support, of acknowledgement at how sick and depraved she truly is. So yeah, hang in there, guys. We're going to get through this. They're exposing themselves. It leaves us with more free time to discuss healing. Anyways, I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. I hope you're having a great narc-free day.